Not exactly hidden. "Who's that lady?" one of the children asks as Magi walks into the village square as the now brightly dressed young Apuk walks into the clearing. She smiles. She likes not being instantly recognized. "Are those leg warmers?" Bernard asks from the grill. She can smell the heady aroma of Valis birds roasting well over Alara charcoal. "Well, they live up to their name, nice and cozy over my legs." Magi replies as she holds her leg out and lets the bright and cheery purple shaggy item of clothing shake a bit. The running shoes are well broken in and comfy, and are only a little stained and dirty looking. Beyond everything else, she has a wonderful pale pink sweater that was probably tight on a Canador once, but now was like wearing a big toasty blanket with sleeves for her. "I didn't know they did tie-dye out here." Imagar notes as he eyes her leggings and wonders if she's actually wearing anything else beyond the leggings, shoes, warmers, and giant fluffy sweater. "I also found a wonderful swimsuit over it all. It's really comfy and so warm," Magi says, pulling up on the giant sweater to show that there's a lime green one-piece bathing suit on under it all as she kicks up with one leg and shows that despite her sedentary lifestyle, she is very flexible. "I can move so freely and it's so nice and toasty. All the scrunchies really help too." Magi finishes up as she brings around the long bundle of hair that's all kept in one general formation by a series of brightly colored hair ties. "Very nice. You're completely unrecognizable," Bernard says. "Now, do you want some Valis breast or thigh? These ground birds have a lot of meat." "Thigh, please," she says, and a large plate is quickly brought out and a pair of bird thighs are slapped on. "Thank you." Someone's cheered up. Morg Arkin notes as he tosses his well-cleaned-off Valis bones to the ground and they sink into the earth. Instantly, a small patch of grasses and flowers sprout to grow off of the incoming decay. "Well, I had a good think while I was in there. I realized that I never got to choose what kind of person I really wanted to be, and so I choose to be happy. Someone that's loving life no matter what. At least, I think that's a good thing. I don't really know. Are people who are just always happy that way because they're stupid or that way because they've made a choice? I think it depends on the person," Dale remarks after a drink of his water. "Although if you find actually being cheerful to be too hard but want to look cheerful, think of it like manners. It's polite to be open and friendly. Southern manners are much the same. It can make them folks that follow 'em seem simple sorts, but in the end we're just minding our manners." "Your accent swung in thick enough to club someone with," Bernard notes with a grin. "That'd be the point there," Dale replies before chuckling a bit. "So do you think you'll be getting any use out of the rest of what was in there? I literally grabbed an entire rack of clothing and stuffed it into a bag." Morgarkin notes, "Oh sure, this is my trying things. I'll keep changing up until I find what fits best. Right now I want to be able to run around and be nice and warm," Magi says with a smile that isn't entirely fake. "Right. So, as you know, we're going to Lilb Tulelb, New Blade City. That's just where we're landing though. My plan is to get a better look of the nearby islands and then see if we can't work a bit of sorcery on it. Or rather, I will. You can basically do whatever you want during that. I understand the swimming, fishing, and mountain climbing in the area are second to none. Of course, I can also leave you in the city if you like. I understand there are nightly beach parties and celebrations in New Blade." "And what are you doing there?" Magi asks. "I'm seeing if something that has never been done, cannot be done, or simply hasn't been done," Morgarkin states. He's got a whole mysterious aims routine down pat, even though we all know what he's about to do, Dale states with a chuckle. "I don't," Mux Moro states. "Everyone that's of adult age and has met the man." Dale corrects himself and there are some friendly chuckles. "What are you doing?" Magi asks, and Dale just hangs his head and chuckles ruefully as he's proven wrong twice in a row. I'm seeing if growing another extension of the dark forest on another world will make a new dark forest on another world or extend this one. A sorcerer can find themselves back in the dark forest in an instant from anywhere in the galaxy. But will the same thing hold true for an extension of the forest? We are extensions of the forest. The answer is not only yes, but I can't believe it hasn't happened already. Bernard notes as he turns over a pair of thighs to cook them all the way through. Yes, but if it could happen, then wouldn't it have happened? Sorcerers have gone beyond Serbo before, and we leave a trail where we go. Vegetation is converted to be as the dark forest wherever we stand and stride, but it's never stuck before. Imigar replies, "True, but we've never had actual physical parts of the forest brought to another world and replanted there. Is there something more we're missing? Is it a process that needs a little more care, or is it simply not possible? These are both very good questions, and the sooner they get answered, the better." Morg Archon states, "If it doesn't work, well, I have a few more ideas beyond the clippings. Here's hoping. Serbo is beautiful, but going from world to world would be amazing. The forest would like it too." Dale remarks before he takes a big bite and strips the flesh from the bone of his roasted Valis. So the next question is, do you have anything else you want to do on Serbo before we go? I'm not sure when we'll be back. It may be years. Morg Archon states, and Magi considers. She droops as she considers it. It's actually rather sad. I don't have anyone that isn't connected to my mom. We're not! Jeth Erla pipes up and she turns to him in surprise. She gets a smile from the child. "You want to be free? Then let's be free together. We're free. You're free. Be free." Magi can't help but smile at that logic. She considers. There's all sorts of important and responsible things that need to be done before things go, but she has lots of clothes. The trip is paid for, and no doubt Morg Archon isn't going to let her starve, so she doesn't really have to do anything, does she? Her eyes light up a little, and she quickly devours the Valis thighs. She knows what she wants to do. She wants to do something that maybe only a small handful of women on all of Serbo have managed to do. She's going to explore the dark forest. And that's a parattack trail. They come through here a lot, and we often hunt them to eat. Jeth Erla explains to her as all three of the children have volunteered to be her tour guides. Each of them is so adorable that she can barely resist just grabbing one and squeeing. So smart and so strong and just so cute. All three of them are completely fearless in the most dangerous place on the world, shy of the gigantic deep-water trenches with the ever-hungry leviathans that prowl within them. Oh, that tree there's amazing for climbing. It's so easy to climb up, and it can take you all the way up into the green sea above. Kalstarn explains. "The green sea?" Magi asks curiously. "Yeah, it's amazing, and it's great for hunting birds with arrows and spears." Arrows and spears? Not the loud weapons humans like? The guns? No, they're really dangerous, and they kick back a lot too. If you hold them wrong when you shoot, you can hurt yourself. I got a bruise from it, Mux Moro explains as he jumps onto the rough, swirling bark and starts climbing up the tree like it's more of a ladder than anything else. Really? Why do they like them then? If they're loud and can hurt you, they must not be very good weapons. She asks as she walks up and grabs onto the tree, and it likes her. She can feel that it likes her, and it wants to come in, but it wants into someplace really deep, someplace that is hers. Even if nothing else has never been hers and hers alone, that place is. It's a secret place. It's a private place. She says no to it, but she's not mean about it. It was trying to help, it's just, that's not how she needs help. Maybe if there's more to actually being her, she can let something in that place. Maybe even the forest. But until then, it's hers. The feeling she gets in return is like a pat on the shoulder, comforting but respectfully distant. Then it's gone, mostly. There's a little lingering something, just, it's waiting. If and when she's ready, she can say yes. If that day comes, she might. She gets the sudden sensation of a hug around her stomach, and she puts a hand on Cal's Tarn's head as she looks down at him in surprise. "Are you going to be okay?" he asks her, and she outright hugs him back. "I'm getting better," she says. "Good," he says firmly. Then he smiles. He's the oldest of the three and has an adorable impishness to him. "Now come on, you've got to see this before you go." Then he rushes at the tree and starts climbing up easily. "Oh, don't think you're going to leave me behind. I can keep up," she counters as she starts climbing after them. She feels the bark shifting ever so slightly to become easier to grip as she moves up and up. As she rises up, she sees further and further through the forest. It may be fairly dark compared to other forests, but when your eyes have adjusted, it's still a beautiful view of bountiful life and spreading beauty. She pulls some axiom into herself when she grows a little tired, and renews her climb faster and faster as she chases after the three very quick young boys until they and then she disappear into the canopy above. She outright freezes when she reaches above it, her head alone poking up above the sea of leaves shivering and rippling in the cold, crisp winds. "Wow," she says, as her eyes track entire flights of birds moving in formation, and, "Hey, you're almost at a good place to stop. Keep going." Cal's Tarn calls down to her and she resumes climbing. In less than a minute, she finds herself standing on a massively thick branch and looking out over the colossal forest top that stretches so far it actually dips below the horizon before it stops. She can faintly see one edge and what's maybe the hint of a spaceport on a distant mountain. But I am the first in all of the Psalm dynasty to see this. I am the first and only woman of my family to ever be here. Me. I am here and this is mine," she says, and a smile crosses her face as her eyes water somewhat. "It's so beautiful. Not many get to see this. I tried to find it from satellite images, but apparently it's bad luck to even take pictures of the whole forest even though it's bigger than most provinces and realms," Cal's Tarn says before laughing. "Is it bad luck?" Magi asks. "I asked the woods. They said that some people tried using lasers and for a while it couldn't tell a laser scan apart from a laser attack, so it hit both. By the time it learned the difference, it had a reputation. The woods are so old that lasers are still new and kinda neat to it," Mux Moro says with a laugh. "It's a grandma's grandpa." "It is, isn't it?" Magi asks as she looks around again. "Older than her mother's dynasty. Older than the system which ennobled them to begin with. Older perhaps than even the Apuk as a whole. Yet, adopting their lost children, those who had been cast out into the dark had found refuge and peace here. Those who had been strangled in the light also finding shelter. Like her. She had invoked the title of goddess many times, relating to the many ladies of justice and duty and war and countless other things throughout the galaxy. How funny is it that the closest thing to a deity isn't a lady or lord, but a forest?